This program only reflects the personal views of the program hosts and or the individual contributors.
Good evening, this is Newsline. I am Michael Chigani. Happy New Year of the Rabbit to you. Something easy tonight. It's been 20 years since the Internet came to Hong Kong. Has it changed your life? I have Charles Mok of the Internet Society of Hong Kong here with me this evening. Mr. Charles Mok, thank you very much for being on this edition of Newsline. This New Year, Chinese New Year edition of Newsline. Happy New Year to you. 20 years.
Yeah.
It kind of breezed by. 20 years.
It certainly blew by for me. I mean, I came back to Hong Kong to work in 94, and it's been almost 16 years. And I was one of the people that started some of the earlier internet service providers in Hong Kong. And of course, if we counted the time when the internet first came to Hong Kong, it was the academic network with the university.
But now everybody uses it.
Everybody uses it.
But tell me this. I know it has changed my life a lot. The Internet has changed my life a lot in many different ways. How has it changed yours?
Well, it's changed mine because actually I used the Internet since before I came back to Hong Kong. I've been online when I was studying and
was Hong Kong among the first to get it? Or
not exactly. I mean, if you consider the time when the Internet was first invented, so-called invented, it was really 1970. So we're talking about.
But not many countries had it then.
Many of the more so-called advanced countries that has large universities, large technical technology.
Aren't we advanced? Isn't Hong Kong? I thought Hong Kong was very advanced.
Well, we finally get really connected to the Internet with the universities only 20 years ago. But then again, if we compare that with other Asian countries, we probably
we're among the first.
Not right. We're not that behind. I mean, comparing to many of the other countries, even the biggest Internet populated countries today, like China, really didn't get it until way after Hong Kong was
Tell me how it changed Hong Kong. 20 years with the Internet. How did it change Hong Kong?
Well, it changed everybody. I think today when you walk down the street, you see people with their mobile phones, their smartphones, connected to the Internet, playing with Facebook and bumping into lampposts and so on all the time. So, I mean, that in a way, you know, people are really connected all the time to the Internet.
But in a more deeper way. How
in a way, I mean, when let's say, how you communicate with people. 20 years ago, you might be calling people. You might be still using faxes. When's the last time
you use a fax? I don't even have a fax.
I don't have a fax number anymore. I mean, people ask me for a fax number. I say I don't have it. 20 years ago, you might be watching television to get your news.
You do it on the Internet now.
Now, well, we still watch TV to get news. We still read newspapers. But remember the last big events that happened the last couple years. When did you first get the information about that event? When did you first heard
it? It was on the Internet.
It was through the Internet.
Can we live without the Internet now?
That's a good question.
Can the world survive without the Internet?
Individually, for people, I mean, there are certain experiments all throughout the world that people are making that, you know, people are disconnected from the media or the Internet for a certain period of time and see how they live through it. I can see that it's not easy. For the world, first of all, I don't think it's a hypothetical question. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's never going to happen, obviously.
It's never going to happen. Can we go back? It's like, can we go back to the days when we don't have fire and we have to, you know, eat without cooking our food, things like that. I don't think it will happen anyway.
Okay, well, tell me this. I know you're having, the reason you're here, Mr. Mok, is you're having a big Asia-Pacific Internet conference. It's going to be staged here in Hong Kong. I think it starts on February the 15th.
Right.
And one of the fathers of the Internet is going to be here too, Vincent Cerf, right?
Right.
Tell me this. Why is it that this big Internet conference is being staged in Hong Kong?
Well, first of all, actually, this conference, the second time when it was first held back in 1997, it was already held in Hong Kong. So actually, it's the second time that it came back to Hong Kong. We held it in 97, just before the handover.
The Internet world was a lot different then than it is now.
The world was very different. I mean, maybe we would have 300,000 Internet users at that time in Hong Kong.
How many do we have now?
We have around 5 million internet users in Hong Kong.
Out of a population of 7 million.
If you look at even the number of Facebook users, they're quoting a number of close to 4 million, even though I believe that number might be slightly exaggerated. But the reason that the conference is coming to Hong Kong, I think, first of all, we're a great place. No question about that, to hold a conference. But more importantly, to the industry, I think it demonstrates that we're really perceived as an internet hub of the region.
Are we really?
We are. In terms of technology applications, in terms of telecommunications infrastructure, we definitely are. Geographically, we're pretty much right in the center, and also because of our proximity.
And we have the internet freedom in Hong Kong.
Oh,
like places like China, many sites are blocked.
Yes, that's exactly, I think, one of the niche advantage of Hong Kong, because we have China, the huge market behind us, but their internet is not the internet as we know it here. There are many contents that are blocked, and the Great Firewall and so on. But just witnessed last year, the biggest news about the internet in China, what would it be? What was it? It was Google moving their search engine over to Hong Kong, and that really says something. Google's press release, what they said was basically, we're moving to another new home inside of China.
And that is in Hong Kong.
That is in Hong Kong.
But you know, the internet has changed, as you say, people's lives, and I know that it has changed China in many ways. Your conference, there will be delegates from China, not official delegates, but delegates from academia and so on coming to Hong Kong for this conference. But the internet, I think, has changed China in so many ways, in that it is not a democratic country in the real sense.
Of course, but in any sense. In
any sense, but the internet has brought democracy into the country, and that people are able now to express their viewpoints, and the officials listen.
Well, I don't know whether that's democracy, but at least that is people now can see
they can speak up.
They can speak up. They can get a window out to look at the rest of the world. They can complain about things that they feel as social injustice. There are many examples of people really using the internet to express themselves, and they have very successfully, actually. And even though there are a lot of blockages, a lot of different means by the officials to curtail what they can or cannot say, but in fact, I would have to think that people in China, internet users in China, are very creative. They find new ways to talk about the kind of things that they are not allowed to talk about, but everybody understands what they are talking about.
Well, would you then say that the internet did change China in a positive way?
Definitely. I think it has changed many countries.
And will it be allowed to continue doing that? Because, as you know, the problems, the people uprising in Egypt that's currently going on, a lot of that news is being blocked on the internet.
Well, actually,
in China,
the search, the word Egypt in Chinese itself is blocked in most of the search engines in China. Very shortly after the incident happened in Egypt.
That's right.
Actually, the government obviously has been trying a lot of different ways to curtail the spread of information, but on the other hand, we're seeing that very obviously the China government isn't, at least at the moment, taking the kind of drastic action to say that the internet is bad, we should stop it from growing.
No, I don't think they can ever do that.
They cannot do that, and I think they see that there are other social and economic values of keeping the internet growing and letting people express themselves to a certain
even Premier Wen Jiabao actually has gone on with announcers to go on the internet to communicate with the people, right? But what happened in Egypt was, when the uprising became violent, the Egyptian government actually shut down the internet.
They should. Actually, that is the trend that I think is even more worrying to us. as far as the global internet community is concerned, because various governments, I mean, not just talking about China or Egypt, we perceive that to be a totalitarian regime. Even if we look at Western democracies, we look at the United States, there are senators and congressmen trying to put through bills that would allow them to have, or the government to have, the internet kill switch facility by law, legislatively. So in future, if something happens to national security, even for a country like the United States, a democratic country can have the means or the legal means to say, I will shut down the internet.
I mean, at your conference coming up later on this month, what are the issues you'll be talking about? Will you be talking about maybe the point you just raised, that perhaps the internet should be completely free of government control?
I think that is probably definitely in the minds of many of the people who are attending it. But the conference itself started out many years ago, and even today as mainly a technology conference. But many times I think we have seen that technology, standards, and applications is inseparable to other issues, social, economical, and political issues. While it's not going to be a conference that we will primarily or only going to be talking about political issues, I think that will creep in, because any time, even when we're talking about adoption of certain new security standards, it has many implications in terms of policy and legislations in different countries, and that will creep into the discussion.
But surely there's got to be some control of the internet, because there are points, there are areas where you have an invasion of people's privacy and so on. Are you saying that there should be no control whatsoever?
I'm not saying that there should be no control.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that there should be a regime that the people, a bottom-up sort of approach, that the people would really have the way and the means to really express themselves and their opinions about forming policies and policy making. Whereas we are not going to want to see a regime that the top-down regime that the government is going to dictate everything that's happening.
What is the underlying message of your conference? What do you hope to achieve?
I think what we hope to achieve is that we want to first of all showcase that Hong Kong's particular role in the internet in Asia, not only as part of China but also to the rest of Asia. I think we have, in terms of for our industry and for the economy of Hong Kong, actually I have to say that it's very underdeveloped. There are so many things that Hong Kong can take advantage of our one country, two system, and so on.
We'll pick it up later on. Don't go away. Back soon.